in the mind of George Zimmerman. He thinks something's wrong. He does the appropriate thing. He calls the police. The mistake that Zimmerman, of course, makes is that he doesn't stand down and he doesn't listen to that police operator and he keeps following Martin.
Darren, you know, to me, this is where everything starts here, because in his mind, there's suspicious activity on the part of Trayvon Martin.
Well, let's see what our jurors have to say. So let's get the paddles ready. You've heard the evidence, yes or no. Was Trayvon acting suspicious? That's the question. Get him up high, Summer. Now, that's an ambiguous no. Let's start with you.
I think not yet. I think he was just walking in the neighborhood, and like you said, I think his Zimmerman was heightened awareness, so I think he thought anything with a hood on may have been suspicious at that moment.
Okay, but you're still a little wavering, and I see back here a wavering yes from juror number 10. So what makes you waver yes?
There's a figure of speech that perception is reality, and when you have an experience where you feel like law enforcement is not taking you seriously, and in a case where you're calling the police 70 times in less than 9 months, that can happen. Right. And you do hear him say they always get away. So that being said, you know, his perception is, okay, this guy's about to get away. He's running. In my mind, that's equating to, okay, this could be a suspect given previous crime.
In your mind, you think that Zimmerman thinks he's acting suspiciously, but to you, do you think there's anything that objectively tells you Trayvon's acting suspicious?
If I was a victim of crime, or people in my neighborhood were victims of crime on a regular basis and nothing was being done, I would probably be paranoid. I wouldn't kill anybody, but I would be paranoid.
Got it.
It's happened. It's recently, so.
Interesting. So we've got a real diversity of opinion, and we're just getting started over here, Vinny. There's a lot to talk about yet from these folks.
Absolutely. Janet Johnson, what do you think about all this? Do you think the behavior of Trayvon Martin, what he was doing, what George Zimmerman's describing, is that suspicious behavior?
Well, what I tell my 17-year-old defendants is all adults are suspicious of 17-year-old males. So from the adult perspective, I think we're all, you know, whether it's a white kid, an African-American kid, we're all a little suspicious at night of a 17-year-old on the street if we're alone. So they have to be sort of on the alert that adults are going to be suspicious of them. So yeah, I think that one juror is right. As adults, and especially if you've been the victim of a crime, it probably would be suspicious. As it turns out, he had Skittles and an iced tea, so he was wrong.
But the problem is when he goes from neighborhood